Welcome back to the Deep Dive Podcast. To everyone that's missed it, I am back. And it's been almost 3 months since I recorded one. So, I had a list. I ran through it, and I ran out of ideas. But I got some ideas, and they all relate to each other. So the next 4 episodes all kind of relate to each other in some way, shape, and form. So let's get into it. Let's deep dive into our first topic in almost 3 months. Beginning of September. So we all know what that means, going back to school, going back to college. Well, we already talked about high school and all that. We don't need to recap that. What we're going to talk about is college today. So for me, I am 2 years removed from college. I was 2017 to 2021. Now, of course, my college experience is way different than anyone's will be as of today or next year. I had the COVID factor infected into my college career, but this isn't about how my college went. It's more of the advice and the preparation and looking for, as I know most of them are back already, but it is what it is. So for me, I spent 1 year in a dorm room and then the next 3 in a suite. So 2 different experiences to start off with. But for anyone that lives in a dorm, for me, there's 3 beds in the room, but only one other person. I had 3 different roommates my first year, and it was crazy enough. So, but more of the fact that the do's or don'ts. I know usually freshmen, you start out in a dorm room. And definitely get to know your roommate. I did that, and I ended up getting the father's phone number. So it took a little time to get to know my roommate and what was going on. We didn't talk much going into it, so I was unaware. So I ended up getting a fridge and a microwave. And I told him, hey, you can use it. I don't care. We're going to share this. He had a small TV that we shared. And of course, if I got a TV, which I ended up doing second semester, the connection was on one side of the room. So I had to run this long cable. Luckily, there were hooks. It was like a little platform ran across so that it could reach my side of the room. But for me, I had a bed, a desk, an open closet that had 2 shelves and a rack, and then I believe, I'm trying to remember, we got dressers. So I can't remember. There's enough that 3 people could use. There's only 2 closets, but you could adjust the bed. I was able to put some stuff under my bed, but it was tile floor, so best recommendation would be a broom. So that's usually we broomed, cleaned up. If you want to go get a sweeper, do. Rugs are okay. I know my friends had a rug. It's just another aspect to the room, so it's not you're on solid concrete all the time. So, but yeah, dorm life is a little different from the suites. He had more meals to go to the dining hall. You kind of were on a schedule and all that. When I got to the suites, it was all kind of like there's still a schedule, but we were limited on how much we can go to the dining hall because we actually had a full-fledged kitchen. So my second year ended up a 6-person 5-bedroom suite. My third year was a 4-bedroom 4-person suite, and then I went back to a 5-bedroom. It was 5. Someone moved out like immediately because it wasn't an in-person class. We got someone new. Then the second semester, we had a room open and never got filled, so it was just 4 of us. But the dorms were nice. You had your own bedroom. The 4-person suite had 1 bathroom. The 5 had 2. 1 was more, I guess, fuller, more space for it. You know, there was no reason for it, but actually, my first year there was a fuller bathroom, and the sink was on the outside, and the other one was a shower and sink in the same bathroom. My last year was kind of the same thing. The sink was outside, and the shower wasn't. It was probably at the same time. Just one had the sink in there, the other one didn't. So everything had a different layout through it all. But the convenience for me my first year was, again, I had a small campus, so where majority of my classes were right up a hill, so I could get out of bed at 7:45 and still make it to my class on time. That's how close everything was. Once we got to the suites, it was a little longer walking, but some mornings we didn't want to walk, so we just drove around. It was all essentially a circle that you can circle the whole campus. There's only one way in and out, so nice little circle, so it wasn't too bad. And of course, since I was in the North Country, there was winters, cold winters, so not worth it. But again, not everyone has a car to get around, so you have to walk everywhere. I'm trying to think. You know, for a guy, it was simple. I didn't need much. You know, I don't know how girls did. I know they want to spruce up the room. Like, I had posters. I had this magnetic board. I had a cork board that I put pictures on. Of course, after the first year, there was sticky stuff, so I couldn't use it, so I had to use a command hook. I had this magnetic board that I could stick photos to and kind of write stuff, but more of the fact was just put stuff on there. I bought a bunch of push pins, stick calendars and information on the wall, so I saw it right in front of me when I was at my desk. And I had posters too. That was really it. You know, when you had 50-50, that's what you had to do. Once you got to the suites, it was your own room, do whatever you want. So, of course, I put the bed in the corner that I always used to at home. So it was always the back right, back left corner. I kind of made it how I would do my own room back home. First year, there was a bunk bed, and I couldn't figure out how to get it off. And I was the first one to the room, so I'm like, I'm gonna take the single bed, just leave it as that. The only problem is the single bed was right next to the heater, but it was also right next to the window. And I don't think there was any way to control there's no way to control any of that. It was just turn on, turn off, depending on the seasons. But if it got too hot, open the window. Too cold, I close the window. You know, get the nice fresh air, snow when it was winter. Oh, yeah. Yeah, usually they have like freshman dorms, and I know SUNY Canton they had a freshman dorm, but somehow I ended up not in that one, which I don't know how. I know good friend Travis, he ended up with his friend Kane, or our friend, because Kane was there for a year and already set everything up. So he was able to bunk with him. Then Kane's girlfriend Haley was in the freshman dorm, and that's where TJ ended up as well. So I don't know how I ended up in this dorm. Like, it may have been because I committed later, but I thought I committed pretty early. Like, I committed in like April, like around Easter that year. So I don't know, just got lucky. I got lucky doing how everything. The fitness center, the sports center. So it had an indoor track, basketball courts, hockey rink, and a gym. So that was easy access to from when we were in our dorms. The suite, it was literally complete other sides. Again, this is just how everything worked for me. Probably works different for every other campus. So I didn't visit many campuses, so I don't know how much worked. I think I ended up doing. I knew Old Westbury, SUNY Old Westbury, Marywood, Scranton University, Wilkes University, SUNY Canton, NYIT, Hofstra. I knew a few, only because I did camps, so they were on college campuses. So I kind of knew some layouts of some. And then, of course, with the facility center, there was soccer, lacrosse field, baseball field was down the hill, along with the softball field. There was a lot of open land, too, that they could do more with. And, of course, there was a bridge that once you cross the bridge, there was apartment buildings for college kids, and you can be essentially right there. Of course, if you had to drive, it made it longer, but if you want to take the bridge, probably less than 10 minutes to get onto campus, but probably 15 to get to classes, maybe 20. There was a hill. Not fun when you're drunk. So, I know I'm just kind of rambling on and thinking. It's been 2 years. So, but for anyone that the do's and don'ts, do get to know your roommate and figure out who's bringing what. You know, I didn't get that, so I went out and bought what I felt was necessary for me anyway. You know, I was gifted a lot of things, so don't get like metal utensils. If you can afford it, buy the plastic. If you want to buy metal, buy one set. I was gifted a set of like 2 or 3. And, you know, luckily enough, I just went to the bathroom, sponge, soap, cleaned it all up, had a hand towel, dried it all off. But it's just better to buy paper plates, paper utensils, and go from there. I had mugs. I do suggest like a mug or two. I learned a lot of college hacks of making mac and cheese, pasta, stuff that you put in a mug, and that was good. I know a lot of places don't allow like candles or hot plates, so don't bring them. Read your rules. You don't need everything from your home. Don't overpack. Do know where you're going and how the seasons will turn out. So for me, I ended up getting up there. I would have clothes. Thanksgiving, I would bring all my clothes home, pack for like a week or two, because that's how long I was going to be up here, and then went back home. And then when I went home again for Christmas and went back up, I repacked everything and took stuff I didn't wear out and put other stuff in. Again, I didn't have a car, so I had to travel by bus. So I was limited on what I could bring. So there was a lot of managing into that. Then, for spring break, I packed moderately. So I didn't do anything crazy, but enough to where it would survive me at home for a week and then come back. I usually went home for a weekend, like beginning April, somewhere in April. So I was like, all right, well, what can I take home that I'm not going to need for a month? So I would take some stuff home, like jackets, long sleeves, because by this point it was April. Yes, it was still somewhat cold, but it was getting to the point of being warm again and the end of the school year. So again, that's how I managed. So I do suggest managing breaks and how everything. I know some schools you get like 5 days, other you get like 10. So know that. Can't really think of much more. Yeah. So, but like, oh, don't do anything that you're not supposed to. You know, like there's no smoking in the rooms. Don't do that. You'll get fined. You can get thrown out. You can do community service. You do not want to do any of that. Especially with how much you already have to do, you don't want to add more. So don't do anything stupid. Like, we had gazebos. You can smoke in the gazebos. That's where you were supposed to smoke. Smoke whatever you want. But we had gazebos. So don't do anything in that aspect. So, and as I said, these 4 topics all relate to each other as I wrote them all down. I wrote college football, and sports betting. They all have some type of correlation to one each other. I wouldn't say sports betting to college, but any aspect of it all. So, for me, I was in a sports management degree. So, I was able to go to sporting events to do stuff. But we didn't have football. So there's no like something to look forward to every weekend. So do get involved, do stuff. I had work study and I worked in the library, and that benefited me because of the fact I was working, making my own money while also getting my schoolwork done. That's how I managed. That reminds me. Do know your classes. Do figure out what books you need, and then go to the library. Because if they have it there, don't my first time, freshman year, I got every book. Wasn't worth it. Then, after that, I just figured out what books I needed, looked online, and if they had it in the library or not. If they didn't, I went to go buy it. If I needed a code for whatever, because sometimes you don't need the book, but you need the code to do activities, which is part of your grade. So figure that out. Do that. And don't spend hundreds of dollars on books, because they're not worth the same in the end. Usually the library has multiple copies of a textbook, just in case that, so that in case you live in a room. But there's multiple copies. Certain ones there's more than others. For me, there was like 1 or 2, so it was limited on who can use it. But since I was at the library late at night, it didn't matter. I was there 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, working. So, yes, there was a few people that came in, but there wasn't too many. That was the benefit. I was able to do my work, get it done, and have the resources at my fingertips. So do figure that out. I know some schools are bigger than others, and it's hard to do what I did, but there's a way to do all that. Trying to save you all money too. So, use, if you have like some campus cash, use that. If they're allowed to use it off campus, use that too, because I think it resets every semester. So use it up, use every penny of it. I don't care if you have $5 left. Go buy that pair of socks for your father, buy that pen for your mother, and buy that magnet for your grandparents to put in their car. Go use that money up. You don't want to have any of it left, because it ain't gonna do. It's just gonna go back to the school. So, and there's not much more I can think of. Well, I know when I got sick, I was able to make a schedule at the nurse's office. They fixed every issue I had, between sore throat and yakking up mucus to a cut in my eye to an ear infection. Like they were able to fix single problem I had. It was amazing. I didn't even have to go to a doctor's office. And some schools offer flu shots right there and then. Do it. Take advantage of every single aspect you have in college, because that's where you're going to be for 4 years. And then you'll be in my situation and giving advice. Do it. But other than that, that's all I got for the return episode. As I said, I did mention, it was a creative flow break because I couldn't figure out what to record. And as I said at the end of the last episode, how this was going to be different seasons. I've changed my mind. We're gonna do episodes, and we're doing guest episodes. So if you want to be a guest, get a hold of me. If you have an idea for an episode, let me know. But other than that, hope you guys did enjoy. Remember, like, subscribe, turn notifications so you never miss a new pod on YouTube and Spotify. I'll catch you all next one.